Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Tim Shurr, founder of the One Belief Away Hypnosis Method, where you're just one belief away from having a huge breakthrough in your life. And as high performers, we have got to maximize our energy and our mental focus so that we can make our dreams come true and also tackle the to-do list and stay on top of all the opportunities that are coming our way, and also pivot. You know, when you're exposed to massive uncertainty all the time, you've got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you're able to show up and show out in the way that you most want to. And so I brought a friend of mine on today, Kevin Libby. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So everybody, Kevin is a Hollywood celebrity nutritionist.
Yeah,
so
Hollywood celebrity nutritionist in Beverly Hills.
In Beverly Hills. So the top agents and athletes and celebrities and people who are wanting to perform at their best, they come to Kevin to help them to get into great shape if they're going to be on the red carpet, or if they've got a big event that's coming up, or they just want to maximize and optimize their energy. Then they go to Kevin to help them out, and he's one of the best at what he does. So Kevin, let's talk a little bit about how we can optimize our energy, our focus, what metabolism has to do with all of that. And then I'll share some ideas as well for how to do the mental work, right? Because sometimes we focus so much on the body, we're not focusing on the human that lives within the body. And so we'll cover mind and body in our short program today. So Kevin, give us some tips on how we can maximize our energy and our focus.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the kind introduction, Tim. So understanding metabolism is a process of the body building and breaking down, just constantly going on 24/7. There's a lot of information if you pull things up on YouTube or online on what's the most optimal diet. And, people may say it's Mediterranean diet or keto or carnivore. And really what it comes down to is the individual. And what I really do is take out guesswork. I do some simple lab testing in the office. Finger prick, and I'm looking at certain biomarkers that are going to tell me how metabolically sensitive people are. And that really lends to what you do, because people's sensitivities come from subconscious or past traumas, things like that, where their natural human physiological response is to put on weight. And if we stick to those paradigms of calories in, calories out, we may get short-term results, but we're not really being the most optimal and most effective. So really, number one tip for improving metabolism is understanding your unique metabolism. So, and everybody really has one. So you really got to dial that in first and foremost.
So, and the best way of doing that really is to get some blood work and specific tests that are designed to figure out what those biometrics are, what it is specifically that's going to help you. There's not a one size fits all approach. Absolutely. And yeah, I think that's wise that you do that. And it's not just a regular blood test. You probably have a specific set of testing that you do.
Yeah, they're standard tests. And I don't mean to cut you off. They're standard tests, but I just look at them differently, through pattern recognition of doing this for over 25 years. It's the inner world, outer world, as above, so below, so to speak. When you look at the blood, it's actually really responding to its environment. But if you haven't dealt with some subconscious beliefs like you, and I'm going to give you a plug, or at least kind of set the stage for you. So many people don't understand. They go to the doctor, they see these suboptimal results in their blood tests, and not to poo-poo Western medicine, but they may give you a medicine or some sort of pharmaceutical drug to band-aid the issue. But really what the issue is you're not optimal, you're not doing the right things for you. So I mean that's really what it comes down to. And then to support in the metabolism, people are very usually self-doubting, and we want to hold them accountable by holding space for them, check in with them week by week, and just make sure they're hitting all of the standard markers of the hydration, nutrition, exercise, sleep, and meditation. There's a lot of trends that come and go, but really you can't get away from the foundations and the basics.
Yes. So putting the right food into your body, getting proper sleep, getting plenty of water, and then meditating, which you can do in a variety of different ways. So it doesn't have to be traditional meditating where you're sitting there for a half hour staring at a candlelight. right? There's many ways that you can create mindfulness. In fact, most high achievers would say, I don't have time. I'm too busy for that. I've got too much going on. There's too much of a demand on time. And so we cultivate mindfulness. Or, for me, the one belief away hypnosis method is like meditating on steroids, right? We can get done in like 7 minutes what it might take you 30 minutes to an hour or a couple hours to do, just because I figured out how to focus your mind so effectively.
Right.
So I love how,
Sure.
yeah. So I love how you have studied, physiology and physiological responses in the body, yet you're talking so much about subconscious influences. So what caused you to pay attention so much to the unconscious beliefs and what's driving us at a mental or emotional issue when you really have been trained to focus on the physical body?
That's a great question. I was wondering when that might come up. It's coming up early in our interview. Just to give you a brief story, I was a wrestler. I wrestled from a very young age to the collegiate level. And, in order to make weight, you always had to cut weight. Well, not everybody had to cut weight, but if you were a pretty muscular guy, really at the end, you're just pulling water and you're doing some really crazy methods just to get on a scale and hit a certain number. But that would leave you very suboptimal, brain fog, weak. You're not going to perform optimally. I remember telling my coach, I'm never coming back 177. And then once I started fueling and I shift my majors, I started fueling properly, give myself enough calories. I came back the next year, yes, much heavier, but fit, alert, much more athletic, greater endurance capacity. So that's just like the beginning of the story. But really the unconscious beliefs, I had behaviors we're not going to get into live on the stream, but I had some behaviors that I wasn't very proud of. And I did some methods to find out what those were. Once I was able to reprocess, I used the EMDR method, Tim, we didn't speak before, to desensitize and reprocess those methods. And I was afraid it was going to take away my edge, but really what it did was help me refocus. So, and that's it. When I sit down with people, obviously you have to read the room on the first day that they're in here. You don't start talking about like certain methods. You got to know who you're talking to. But at the same time, I want everybody to understand that their metabolism really hinges on their belief system. So I don't look at a person and see an overweight person. I look at a person and I see a lot of stress. I see a lot of trauma, and I see a lot of generational problems. And I want to hear their story, and I want to make them feel comfortable, and I want them to trust me. Once we develop that relationship, the rest is actually cake. It's so easy. The nutrition part really is the easy part, but getting over that subconscious or that psychological hump is the challenging part.
Well, that's true. I have found that as well, that when I first was learning hypnosis and how to use hypnotherapy to help people improve their lives, I was taught that you just get people relaxed and then you just tell them to eat more salad, right? And that they're going to eat, lots. If it came from a plant or a tree or the ground or the sea, it's for me because it gives my body energy, right? And so all these positive affirmations, and then people would feel awesome for a couple of days and then go back to their binging. They go right back to emotional eating again. Or they would say, you know what, I feel really good about myself, but I'm still addicted to sugar.
Sure.
And so I kept doing these sessions and started realizing that there's actually beliefs in our mind, because of experiences that we go through that cause us to feel like I'm not safe, I'm not loved, I'm not worth taking care of. If I make myself a priority, that means I'm being selfish, or that God would be mad at me because I'm supposed to be spending all my time helping others. Right? That if I take care of myself and I start to get better, I'm going to stand out. And I learned when I was a kid that when I stand out is when I got hurt. And so I have to keep hiding. I've had people that were abused that put on a bunch of weight so that they've said, well, now I'm not attractive and so I won't attract predators into my life. And so there's so many emotional issues. And some people just have associated, because they've been trained their whole life, as we all have, to associate food with love and comfort. It's my favorite hobby. I love to eat, right? And so
there's a lot of things. There's the reward and punishment aspect of it when you're a child. Only good girls get lollipops, or you got an A on the test and you get to have ice cream. So now they're getting that association of I'm good, I deserve this food. And you can't punish. You can't send a kid away from dinner. You can't send them to bed without dinner as punishment. Now you're creating those dysfunctional patterns. But you really struck a nerve with me just now, Tim. One of the other things that got me set me on this path was I noticed how much my weight fluctuated. You know, the body being the unconscious mind. Am I saying that right, or is it the subconscious mind? Either way, if I was ever hurt, whether it was chemically, physically, or emotionally, doesn't matter. So, like, let's say it was a bad breakup, I would gain a lot of weight. It's actually Mickey Rourke years ago said, "When did you leave?" Because I lost a bunch of weight, and I said, "How'd you see that one?" Mickey goes, "Oh, you look like you had cancer. You're in the Holocaust." I'm like, "Thanks, Mickey. I appreciate you." So I would fluctuate, and I noticed this about myself. But it wasn't until, it was funny, I got offered a television show, and they wanted to call it Dad Bod, believe it or not, from Bronze Studios. It was March 2020, right before the shutdown. Never happened, but they had saw my Instagram, my social media, that I lost, I think it was 40 pounds. And they said, "What was the secret?" I go, "To be honest with you, the secret was going to therapy and reprocessing a really negative emotion, and the weight just fell off." And everybody wanted to know what the secret pill or secret shot or secret powder was. And I'm sharing the secret with you right now. I guess I followed a diet, but it was very, very easy just by being safe. And that's what it comes down to. Because there's only two switches. You're either safe or not safe. That's it, right? There's no in between.
That's exactly right. I wrote a book called Losing Weight Without Losing Your Mind. And I put those strategies in there for how to help you feel safe, because that's what I found. I would either have clients that no matter what they tried to do to lose weight, it would never work. And it's because they had unconscious beliefs that made them feel that losing weight would literally make them feel unsafe, like life or death.
Right.
And so they would unconsciously sabotage themselves anytime they would start to get results. So they might lose and then regain the same 50 pounds 3 or 4 times, you know, and then of course, which further reinforced that they're not good enough, that they're broken, that there's something wrong with them, right? Or maybe they just don't deserve to be happy.
Right, the Mary Louise Hayes, right? I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve things. I have a questionnaire on my intake forms if you wanted to become a client, and it was things I don't do don't work for me anymore. That's one of the pull down menus. I've tried everything's another one, and the third one is I don't know the right thing to do for my body. And being in LA for 10 years now, from Chicago, I'm originally a Chicago native. I've had clients come and go for the last 10 years. You know, it breaks my heart to watch them lose 100. I don't see them for a year or two, and they came back, 120 pounds up. And it's like, meaning, you can lead a horse to water. They have to really ask that question, "Kevin, what do I have to do?" And that's when I would refer them over to you, Tim, because that's not my wheelhouse. 2 things that I live by in my office, or live by just in general, are A, the body always hoards and collects to protect itself. Even obviously mine too. And then B, the laws of supercompensation. Whenever you lose really fast, you gain it all back plus more. So it's got to be done in that, we call it the landing the plane fashion, like nice and easy. You never hear the captain of the ship go, or the captain of the plane go, "All right, there's the runway, we're taking it down." It's like, no, we're going to do a gradual descent, and that's really keeps the body safe too. So like nice and gradual, nice and easy peasy, and that way you're not really putting the body into like any unnecessary, like what's wrong, what's going on, why are we losing weight so fast? Maybe we better slow things down, pump the brakes.
Yeah, sometimes that can cause the body to feel like, hey, I'm sick, so I need to start restoring. When I feel
the body's like, wait a minute, are we dying? We better slow it. The thyroid will just power down to conserve energy. That's why you always hold fat above your liver. So yeah. So I would another thing that started helping me understand that it might be something other than what you're eating. There's a great book by Susan Jeffers wrote the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. But there was another book called It's Not What You're Eating, It's What's Eating You. And so when I read that, I'm like, oh wow, there must be something else going on, because I would have clients that would say, I exercise every day and I eat healthy and I can't lose any weight at all. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And one of the things that I realize is, in addition to your metabolism, it's your stress level. You've talked about that. I'm like, well, how's your stress? I'm like, oh, it's off the charts. I can't stop worrying. I don't sleep well at night. I'm constantly obsessing and worrying about, what bad things are going to happen, or what if it doesn't work out, or what I'm going to do. And the stress is actually worse than the overeating. Right. And so instead of treating the symptoms, because people want to come in and they want to treat the symptoms, and being overweight is a symptom. And so what we do is we find the source.
And what we're talking about today is finding the source of the of what's driving your behaviors. And it turns out it's unconscious beliefs that usually our brain creates. People might not know what an unconscious belief is, so maybe we can break it down with them real quick. So your mind has two parts, what I call the conscious and the unconscious. So if you ever seen a picture of an iceberg, and the top part of the iceberg is floating above the water, that's 20% of the iceberg. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind controls your willpower. It's your rational decision-making mind. It says this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Then underneath the water, you've got 80% of that iceberg. The 80% is your unconscious mind. And its job is to keep your body safe, and it runs these programs in your mind. It's like software for your brain. And the software are your beliefs, your values, your life experiences. And so when we go through life, we have what I call big T and little t traumas. And little t traumas are being embarrassed, not getting picked to be on the game. You ask somebody out and they say no, right? Your friend stops hanging out with you. And then you have serious traumas, the physical, the sexual abuse, the emotional abuse, death in the family, a serious illness, things like that. And so when you go through something like that, your mind starts to make meaning about it, what it thinks it means. It starts creating these beliefs about the situation. And over the years, I found that common beliefs are, I'm not safe, I'm not good enough, I'll be rejected, I'll be abandoned, you can't trust people, I'm not worthy of being loved. And so those beliefs end up influencing how we think, how we feel, how we behave, and the habits that we develop as a result. And it happens without our awareness. So things that happen when we're 3 years old are still affecting us when we're 47 years old, and we don't realize it. And so what Kevin and I are talking about is whether you want to optimize your focus, or you want to lose weight, or you want to have more energy, that you've got to both focus on the physical part with your metabolism and how you manage stress and what you're eating, how you're drinking, how you're sleeping at night. A more important part of it that drives all of that, though, is what we're both talking about with your unconscious beliefs, and those beliefs that are formed in your mind that you might not know are there. So Kevin Libby, if you're just joining us now, Kevin Libby is a celebrity nutritionist out of Beverly Hills who works with the stars and top performers in the world. People go to them or go to Kevin when they need results right now, when they need to figure out what's going on to get them in the best possible shape and to help them to perform optimally so that they can manage all the opportunities that are in front of them and all the things that have to get done.
Yeah, this has been a strange year without it would have been pilot season in the last month, and with the strikes going on, it's been interesting. But I still work with a ton of producers and directors. They got the time off, so they're like, you know what, maybe I'll lose all this weight while we're sitting at home and just waiting for their scripts to get picked up, or whatever, what have you. I thought of something, Tim, and I've watched a lot of your other episodes and podcasts and all your YouTube videos. And when you talk about real or perceived threats, the perceived threat is just as real as reality itself, correct? The body's having an adaptive response to it. Whether we're finding out somebody's good at utilizing fat, carbs, or both, that's irrelevant. I mean, it's very important, but that's irrelevant. Really, what I want them to do is make sure they're getting enough calories. Everybody says, oh, Kevin makes me eat more. I'm like, I'm not making you eat more or too much. I'm making you eat enough. Because if it is a tiger, you're going to need energy to fight the tiger or run away from the tiger. Preferably run away. You don't have to be as fast as the tiger. You just have to be fast as the person you're with. And the second thing, so you have to. So if you give yourself enough energy to fight or run away from the tiger, then your body, you will start calming down your nervous system. Your adrenals will start to relax. Your thyroid will start to pick back up. There's certain signs that people aren't eating enough. Their peripherals are cold. Their hands and feet are furthest from their core. So, what does that mean? It doesn't mean they have poor circulation, because I get that on a daily basis. It means that your thyroid's powered down to conserve energy. I've heard it all where people have said, oh, I'm from Germany, I'm from Japan, I'm from the Middle East, I'm from Western Europe, that they hold fat in their belly. It's like, no, you hold fat above your liver, because your liver takes that fat and turns it into cholesterol, which is responsible for your sex and stress hormones, cortisol and testosterone. So that means the testosterone is going to be the fight, and the cortisol is going to be, your anti-inflammatory. So it all comes back down to that stress, and we really want to manage that. Once the body's safe, it just becomes a carbon copy week after week. But if you don't have an extrinsic motivator like the celebrities I work with, whether it be a nude scene, fight scene, love scene, whatever, red carpet event, or they're getting an award, or there's a gala or something like that, we don't have an extrinsic motivator, because that's really what kind of holds them to it. Then you need to be held accountable, and that's where checking in. People think checking in every week, do I really need to see every week? I'm like, well, if you don't see someone like Tim, you're going to go back to your old habits. You're just going to go back into default mode. So I hold you accountable just to make sure you're drinking your water, eating your food, getting your exercise until we get from A to B. And hopefully you're not just getting good habits. Then you are doing the inner work that you're going to need to be successful long-term. Because really, it does pain me to see people over and over again. As much as I love them, they become friends and we're really familiar, I do want to see them go. I want to see people come, be of service. I don't help anybody, I'm in service. Be of service, and then that's it. And then if you want to call me up and have lunch and a couple of years from now, God bless. But I don't want you to be my client for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, you want to help them produce results and establish those successful habits, and that's awesome. I think that's great. And you also really are making an important point that too many times when we're trying to achieve a goal, we try to do it by ourselves on our own. And that's the most painful way of doing it, right? To have support, to have accountability partner, to have somebody that you're checking in with every week is huge. That's what the most successful people do, right? The most successful people, they have coaches, they have mentors, they're in mastermind groups, they have accountability partners, and they're self-motivated and self-driven, but you still need someone to check in with. You still need your compass, right? You're never too busy to check your compass, or you're not going to arrive at the destination that you want. And so, amazing people and coaches like Kevin here are your compass to help you get in the best possible shape and to live a healthier life. And then if you're feeling stuck emotionally in some way, then I can help you with that, right? And that's why we, Kevin and I, team up. We collaborate together because we both have unique strengths that when you put them together, it's amazing, right? It's really awesome. So
I get this common one a lot. Women will commonly say, like, you'd be so proud of me, or please don't be mad at me. And that that's another conversation, right? I have to sit down in a calm voice, hey, listen, I'm never going to judge you. I'm here to be your support. I'm here to be a pillar and a rock and someone that you can lean on and be a cheerleader for you. But at the same time, never judge. And, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. I see the sabotaging a lot when someone knows they have a check-in the next day and they know they're going to get on the scale. I was doing great, and last night I kind of binged. I'm like, okay, so we're going to talk about that. And, I want them to understand why they did it and that it is a subconscious self-sabotaging cue. And they really got to find out what that is. I do muscle testing in the office occasionally to see where that shortcoming is. But like I said before, that's not my forte. I really need someone like Tim to take the wheel on that one.
So one of the surprises that is happening from us doing this live is that I see that Kathleen Dinsmore is with us. Now, Kathleen is a past client of mine who lost 150 pounds, 147 pounds in a 9-month period. Wow. And she said that it wasn't because she was going on some new diet. It was because we upgraded those beliefs around worthiness. And she started loving herself for the very first time. So Kathleen, it's so great to see you again. I continue to stay in touch with many of our clients over the years because they become people that you love and care about. And so it's been 7, 8, 9 years, and she still kept that weight off, and she's still going stronger than ever and doing great. So Kathleen, I'm glad you commented. I'm so glad that you are with us here. Right. So
tremendous, Kathleen. That's really great work. Tim and you guys made a great team. Obviously, she trusted you. I have a story for you. I had a client. It was funny when I had my penthouse office in Santa Monica. Some guys I rented to, they would always ask, "Who's your client?" I go, "Guys, I'm not going to divulge who that is. She's cute. Set us up." I go, "Guys, I'm not going to do that." And one day, I kind of said to them, I go, "She used to weigh 300 pounds." They go, "She's 140 pounds and just absolutely stunning." And the interesting thing is I got the credit for that, and I can't take credit. She had lost some close family members. I think she lost her aunt, who was like a mother to her, and her niece. It was tragic, and her body blew up. she go, I met her after the blow up, and it was probably months after, but she lost gradually in the beginning, but she said these amazing magical things. She goes, I said, what was the secret when you started really losing? She goes, I just let go. I said, wow, can we put that in a bottle? She goes, I said, how did that work? She goes, I don't know. I just made peace with it and just let go. And boom, she was losing. It just started coming off like nothing. It was really more a testament to her and her resolve than it had anything to do with me. I was happy to be a part of the journey, but I really can't take the credit.
So just from a coaching standpoint, for anybody that is watching this, that is a coach, a consultant, a wellness expert, a healer, I want you to notice not just what Kevin is saying, but how he's teaching. One of the reasons why when I met Kevin, I liked him right away is because he's very good at what he does. He's very effective, but he's also so focused on helping you. He's so focused on what we call being others focused or service focused, right? You notice that he's not trying to keep you in programs forever. He's focused on helping you to get the results. He's not taking the credit for your success. He's empowering you so that if you take the credit for your success, you will keep it. You will own it. You will keep the results going. If someone else fixed you, then all of a sudden you're not accountable for maintaining your results anymore, right? And so notice how he's going and answering these questions. It's really important. And so just from a coaching standpoint, I really appreciate, Kevin, how you are so others focused and so making sure that you're giving other people the credit and the tools, and then you're not there to judge them. You're there to help them to be the best version of themselves. You'll admit the areas where you need help with, right? And support. Like, I don't know how to do the stuff you know how to do. That's why I would just send people to you for that, right? And then with
autoimmune and things like that, where you really got to know your biochemistry, and you have to understand and reverse engineer things. But at the same time, really what it comes down to is basics, essential nutrients, understanding the human body, knowing what you're working with. Do they have the gallbladder? Do they have their appendix? Do they have their tonsils? What are you dealing with? Once you get all that out of the way, though, it really is just rinse and repeat. But the mind part, that's why I rarely will take anyone if someone else pays for them. Mm-hmm. Somebody goes, hey, I'm going to take care of my friend. It's on me. And I'm like, ooh, you don't want to do that. I'm like,
yeah.
It's not even about, the old saying that people who pay attention. It really comes down to, there's no, like, did they really want to come here? You're gifting this to them. You want it more than they do. It depends on the economy if I'll take them or not. But really, I would like my integrity and be like, listen, hold on to your checkbook, send them when they're ready, or at least,
Yeah. Well, you do have to have skin in the game. I do believe that when people pay, they pay attention.
You do.
Because if you give somebody something for free, or you give somebody something for $10, or you make them pay $10,000, which one do you think they're going to take more serious?
Yeah.
Right? $10,000. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to show up for every session. I'm going to do everything you say. Right. Yeah. And so people do.
My wife had her camera bag and there's $4,000 in there, and she goes, you know what? Just let me have that. She goes, let me just hold that, but if it was, a disposable camera, throw it wherever you want. But she won't.
That's exactly right.
It means a lot to her. It's very valuable. It's the money and what it means to her too. For creating and the photography, and just that's her art. So,
yeah, she
don't mess with that. So
that's right. That's right. Outstanding. So we've just got a couple minutes left. So making sure that you get your blood work done, making sure that you're resolving any of the mental or emotional challenges that might causing stress or that might be causing those behaviors.
I do the blood work in the house. It's rapid tests. I do it right in my office, get results in a few minutes.
What's the third thing that people can do to boost their metabolism then? Right. So we do the blood work, we do the of subconscious reprogramming, and then one more tip that you might have.
So it's also a nutrient timing. So if, let's say your goal is weight loss, and that's one of the symptoms, right? At the same time, if your goal is weight loss, is not just understanding the right energy type, fats, carbs, or both. It's also understanding, because it's very trendy right now to fast. There's your prolonged fast, there's your intermittent fasting, or there's the typical old school small meals throughout the day, also known as a grazing pattern. Understanding which ones right for you. If you are a person with a lot of anxiety and or an anxious person, we'll just say, and you try to fast, you're setting yourself up for failure. Understand that you should be, I mean, ultimately, this is another Band-Aid. You should be balancing your blood sugar throughout the day, and that will that will ultimately translate to I am safe. I have a continuous energy supply, you know, because let's say you've already got the anxious, obviously there's ruminating thoughts about something going through your mind, whether it's your family, your business, your career, whatever. You don't want to add to the stress by also telling your body that it's starving or there's a scarcity of food. So understanding nutrient timing, not just the proper energy pattern for you. Once you put those three together, you know, then it's just a matter of, like I said, it's being held accountable and moving forward. But ultimately, to really hammer the point home is to change your subconscious belief and have long-lasting and forever results, not just a short-term.
Forever results. Yes, I love the idea that as long as your body feels safe in a healthy way, then it'll release that weight. You know, this is really more about addition than subtraction. When you think about weight loss, people are always subtracting. What do I have to take away from? How am I going to be deprived? What am I going to lose out on? What we're talking about, Kevin, is addition. We're going to add more value. We might add more food, right? You can eat whatever you want. It's just what you're eating will be upgraded, right? We're going to add more self-love and more peace and more calm. You know, that's what we're really talking about.
Relationship with food, that food, what was that rhyme you had? Food fuels me, or that rhyme?
That's right. Yeah. So Kevin, how can people get a hold of you?
People can reach out to me through email, info@ph2nutrition.com. My website, ph2nutrition.com, fill out a intake, or my office number, which is 310-873-3706, is my Beverly Hills line.
Say that again. What's the phone number?
310-873-3706.
All right. So we've got info@ph2nutrition.com, or the phone number is 310-873. I can't read my own numbers. 3706. Right? Yeah, that's right.
For performance, health, and healing. So whether you're a performance athlete or a performer on stage, health, obviously for weight loss, or healing, you know, autoimmune, diabetes, things like that, I'm your man.
Absolutely. So I put that number there in the comments. So if you are needing someone like Kevin to help you to get the most out of you, then make sure you reach out to him today and schedule a consultation. So Kevin, thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate you, and thanks for sharing your wisdom with us.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Pleasure was all mine.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, enjoy your day. Remember, you're just one belief away from having a huge breakthrough in your life. So believe in yourself, because I believe in you. Talk to you soon.